Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We have more crypto news, which includes XRP and Ripple, as well as taking a look at the price charts for Bitcoin and XRP. And let's go ahead and get started. So the very first thing is the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. This has dropped down. It is now at 14 extreme fear territory. It is getting dangerously close to single digits once again. For Bitcoin's price movement itself, we were just slightly in the green before I started recording this video, and it has since dropped down just a tiny bit, showing signs of it being in the red. See, it's just kind of bouncing back and forth between those positions right now. We do have a low on the day at $62,300, a high at about $63,400. So there's a little bit of wiggle room going on. The volume itself looks like it's on track to being about what we've had over the last 4 days or so. And we also need to take into consideration that we just had 3 daily candle closures, each in the red. Those 3 daily candle closures setting the price back all the way here to June 12th. And with where we're at right now, we're still sitting at that same daily candle position. So there was a long entry position suggested on June 14th. It did rise one day, but that pullback has hurt. The biggest thing is what's going on between the United States and Iran. So if you have not heard the news with this, Iran closes the Strait of Hormuz again in response to Israel's attack on Lebanon. As part of the deal with the MOU between the United States and Iran, it was talking about Israel laying off their attacks. Well, Israel doesn't really seem to care about that. They're pushing forward, and lo and behold, Iran is not happy with that. So here we are, we're right back to where we were basically a few days ago. So this whole everything's getting better, yeah, we still have to wait and see how things continue to play out. So there is a suggestion of an agreement between the United States and Iran. What's likely going to happen next are negotiations that includes Israel and the United States. Perhaps Israel wants to receive some additional benefits the United States might be willing to offer. We'll have to see how that plays out. But as it is right now, Iran does not look happy, and they really want to just essentially pull back on this whole peace deal until Israel changes what they're doing. Now, moving on. XRP's biggest regulatory catalyst just gained momentum as the House signals it will fast-track the Clarity Act. Now, I do want to point this out to you. The Clarity Act deadline is possibly slipping, but the bill is not dead. Analysts calling July 4th almost impossible now, but the window extends a few days beyond. XRP and digital asset markets still on standby. This is the most important legislation in crypto history. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that this is going to end up getting passed before July 4th? I would love for it to be passed, but there's a lot of things that are happening right now, and they're trying to get bipartisan support. So I think it could still pass if there's just a little bit of support on one side. But yeah, they definitely need to try and get some movement going on because people have been waiting on the sidelines for this to get done for quite a while. South Korea now accounts for 33% of global XRP volume. This, frankly, is not a surprise because South Korea has been historically a very big proponent supporter of XRP. So seeing it be about 1/3, yeah, I'm not surprised. The BIS projects a $16 trillion tokenized asset market by 2030, with the XRP ledger potentially seeing over $320 billion in annual settlement demand from just a 1% share. HKIMR highlights Ripple and XRP for enabling cheaper international payments and settlements. ISO 20022, a key deadline is approaching for cross-border payments. From November 2026, fully unstructured postal addresses will no longer be supported in CBPR Plus messages. Payment risk being rejected or delayed if not compliant. This change is a community-driven standards evolution endorsed through the formal maintenance process and country vote, and directly supports the G20 goals of improving data quality and transparency in cross-border payments. Well, what's so important about this? Right here. Chad Steingraber points out, this happens at the same time the DTCC is at full-scale production for tokenization, meaning that a lot of people are looking at this and trying to connect dots back between SWIFT and XRP. Clarity Act talks enter final stretch before August recess. Lawmakers are holding last round meetings to finalize the Clarity Act ahead of August recess, per Punchbowl News. Negotiators are working to lock remaining details after months of bipartisan drafting. The goal is to complete the framework before Senate timelines tighten further. The bill sets clear SEC and CFTC roles for digital assets. Talks now focus on resolving final jurisdictional and compliance details before floor scheduling. Ripple and XRP are highlighted as a premier example of token embedding in a new working paper. The paper, published by the Hong Kong Institute for Monetary and Financial Research, or HKIMR, details how using the Ripple token, the XRP, makes international payments and settlements significantly cheaper within its network. Authors Lin William Kong and Zhizheng He use these to illustrate how modern digital platforms leverage native tokens to optimize transaction efficiency and reduce asset liability mismatches. And just recently, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says ahead of Swell, I've been in crypto long enough to know when a moment is real. This is one of them. So he seems very, very excited about this Swell. Meet the platform bringing a $2.5 trillion industry to the XRP ecosystem. Ripple's XRPL is known for the strides it has made into the financial sectors. Ban Exchange, however, is bringing the $2.5 trillion entertainment and media sector onto XRP Ledger in decentralized fashion. The platform is powered by its BXE token, which is hosted on XRP Ledger and powers the entire bank's network ecosystem. And they say you can visit the platform, access the next iteration of journalism, reporting, and content creation. So that it sounds interesting. XRPL has $3.66 billion in represented RWA value sitting off-chain. Stellar has $79.35 million. For those of you that may not know, RWA stands for real world assets. That means XRPL already has the institutional pipeline locked in. The assets are committed, just not fully distributed yet. The moment tokenization infra matures on XRPL, confidential transactions go live. XLS 66 lending activates. RLUSD scales multi-chain. That $3.66 billion doesn't trickle on-chain. It floods. And XRP Spot ETF total net inflow hits $2.54 million on June 18th, Bitwise, the sole contributor, with $476 million cumulative. Total NAV across all XRP ETFs now stands at $995 million, with $1.447 billion in historical net inflows. And look at this, XRP Army, an official Ripple letter just dropped, dated June 9th, 2026, signed and submitted to the FDIC on the Genius Act. Ripple is pushing hard for stablecoin reserve deposits, RLUSD, to get passed through FDIC insurance. This changes everything for real-world adoption because FDIC-backed reserves give institutions and banks the ultimate safety net to custody RLUSD at scale, unlocking massive institutional inflows, faster payments, and seamless XRPL integration. And from Zaman Wallet, early numbers are in. 1 in 5 swaps through Zaman Swap take a custom route, meaning more value. Routing the whole XRP ledger instead of the obvious path is direct saving, landing hardest on illiquid pairs. Some see single or even double-digit percentage savings on a trade. And then taking a look at the price movement for XRP. 3 daily candle closures, back-to-back in the red. 4th day, where we're at right now, also red. Currently sitting down 0.78% on the day. And at the low point, at just under $1.12. So slightly above that at $1.13. It is struggling. We can take a quick look what's going on with Bitcoin again. $63,000 for Bitcoin, essentially bobbing up and down. Volume is pretty low. We can see that for XRP, it's very comparable to the daily amount of volume that we had for the last 3 days. There was this dramatic candle that took place on June 15th. More than likely, right now with June 19th, we're going to exceed the candles from the previous days. But is it going to see some massive push like we did on June 15th? I kind of doubt it. We are seeing a level of support being established right around $1.12. Then below that, you really want to watch $1.10. That's been a level that's been getting contested a lot lately. If it drops below that, we're looking at 105 and then $1. And we can also see that right here with the Fibonacci retracement zone, or sorry, with the Bollinger Band, I should say, the lower band is sitting at just about 104, about 104 and a half. So again, around 105, you definitely want to keep an eye on. And the Bollinger Band itself is starting to constrict more and more, suggesting that we might be seeing a little bit of flatlining happening, and at some point this stuff is going to pop. So there was a bit of a move there on June 15th, but you can see it's very irregular. There's a little bit more activity that took place on this run up back here from June 1st up to June 5th. We'll wait to see if something like that plays out more. And then we have below $1, keep an eye on 86 cents. Above, we're looking at $1.40. Okay, that's what I got for you guys today. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new. Thank you to my Patreon supporters, as well as those of you that support me here on YouTube, my YouTube members. God bless, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.